Today we're going to work on our own version of Vincent Van Gogh's Starry Night. So first task, we need your name and your class on the paper and flip it over so your name is on the back side. And in Vincent's picture, he had a moon. It was a very starry night, and you could see the moon very clearly. So we're going to start with some yellow, and your brush should be dry. You can decide if you want your moon to be a full moon, if you want it to be a quarter moon, if you want it to be a little crescent up in the sky, but it needs to go up in a corner. And when you're painting with yellow paint on blue paper, it might look a little bit green at first. That's okay. When it dries, it should go back to normal. And besides just painting the moon, he also painted lots of short strokes to make it look like things were glowing. So I'm going to paint a couple of rings with short strokes, not polka dots, so the moon looks like it's glowing. As for the stars, we know there's millions of stars in the sky, but Vincent did not paint millions of stars. So we're going to keep our picture simple, just like Vincent's, and paint just a few, like between 4 and 6 stars. They're also not going to have 5 points, because stars look like little dots up in the sky. So I think I'm gonna have 5 stars. And then I'm also painting little rings around them so they are glowing. And if you want to add more than one layer of rings, so one glows brighter than the other, we can do that. Now once you're done with the yellow, rub-a-dub-dub on the bottom of the cup and dry it on your paint shirt. And then we need a little white, because Vincent didn't paint with just one color. So I'm going to put a little bit of white in the rings around my moon. And also in the rings around my stars. Our next step is we need the wind. And the wind had a very obvious path in Vincent's painting. So it needs to start either on the left edge or on the right edge. We're still not working on the bottom half of your paper at all. We are leaving this area alone for the scene that we add in the future. And you're painting strokes so we can see where the wind is traveling. And it doesn't have to look exactly like mine. After I paint those strokes, I'm going to add another layer so it's a little thicker. And clean the brush. Once the wind is complete, we need to add some strokes of paint in the sky, because Vincent didn't have any plain areas that were just solid color. So I'm going to go below my wind and paint a little horizon line of dashes. So I know I'm not going below this point. And then up here, I'm going to paint strokes that are traveling around the page. I'm going to make sure when I get to the stars, I bump and jump over them. I am not painting through them. Once the blue is complete, then it's time for a little bit of black. And we are not playing connect the dots. We are just adding a little bit of black in between the blue layers of the sky to make it a little darker. once you're at this point, it's quitting time, and your work goes on the drying rack to dry.